Hey, I guess you want to follow along on one of my workouts. I would love that. But I think there are some basic rules we need to establish and things we should go over first. So let's do that. Your safety is my #1 priority when making these workouts. So please, go see your physician if you have any underlying heart conditions before performing one of these workouts. To monitor your heart rate throughout the workout, if you have an Apple Watch or a wearable, that's preferable.
While we're on the note of safety, remember, I can't physically fix your form if I'm not with you in person. So I need you to replicate these movement patterns to the best of your ability with perfect form. You're going to also hear audible cues. So if you have headphones in loud environments, it's going to help you understand what you should and shouldn't be doing.
To get the most out of these workouts, simply set your phone or tablet up, follow along with the instructions and try to keep pace, and just work hard. Some workouts might use equipment where it's unsafe to watch the video while trying to perform the exercise at the same time. So for these, I advise watch the video, then rewind, set your phone up off to the side, and then perform the exercise while only listening to the audible cues. Use your own best judgment for this. Oof, that made things awkward.
And that's essentially it. Follow these workouts, work as hard as you possibly can, and on a week-to-week basis, make sure you're thinking of increasing one variable like weight or reps or tempo or something. The last thing I want to say is just a thank you. The fact that you're here with me today tells me that you're willing to dedicate energy and time to try to better yourself, and the fact that you're using me as a resource to do so really does mean a lot. So thank you with all my heart, and enjoy your workout.
Today, we're going to be performing a posterior dominant workout, which means we're going to be working out the back side of our body, our back, our hamstring, our glutes, all that good stuff. The equipment we're going to need for today is going to be a lacrosse ball, a foam roller, mini bands, a resistance band, kettlebell, as well as a set of rings. It's time to get working out. Let's work out the back side of our body. Before we get started with today's workout, we're going to do some soft tissue work just to promote some blood flow, make sure we can get into positions a little easier, and it's going to help us activate the tissue that we want today. We're doing our posterior today, the back side of our body, so let's work on that. So the first thing we're going to need is a lacrosse ball, and then we're going to need a foam roller. So we're going to take that lacrosse ball, and we want to work on our glutes here. Again, I want us to be able to fire our glutes correctly during the workout. Lacrosse ball goes on the corner of our butt cheek. From here, I shift almost all my weight over to the side. All of my weight is pressing down on that point. Now, if you're a smaller individual, maybe this is super painful and you might want to use the foam roller because it's getting too deep into tissue or you're hitting bone or something like that. So we're going to start a timer right now for 45 seconds. While I'm on this lacrosse ball, #1, I need to relax. Deep breaths is the most important part. I need to relax the tissue over the ball, again, so I can get into some deeper tissue. If it's really painful, maybe I don't do any movement, right? I normally would recommend moving your knee up and down, trying to move the musculature around the ball. If that's super painful, maybe you make small circles, maybe you just stay put. But again, the concept is for you to find tissue that's sensitive and then try to give it some love to help promote fluid dynamics and blood flow so we can make sure that tissue stretches and gets us into position better and we can activate it better. Again, if you're also someone this is extremely painful, please use the foam roller, regress it, whatever you need to do. Hopefully over time, we can find other ways to effectively provide some blood flow. Let's switch sides. Again, right under the corner of our glute. Okay, from here, just relax that knee down. Deep breaths. So like I mentioned, we're gonna do our posterior today, which means the back side of our body. A lot of people, we have a hard time firing the tissue of our glute. Our butt cheeks just don't work well. One of the reasons, we sit on them all day. We do not activate them, right? And a lot of the movement patterns people should be doing on a daily basis in life to activate their glutes, they just don't know how to connect the neural pathways, like your brain doesn't know how to tell that muscle to activate when it should activate. So that's why we're doing this right now. The more blood flow and the better relationship we can connect our brain to the tissue, part of it starts with the sensitivity of this ball pressing in there, the better we are going to be activating it and we're going to build more muscle. We're going to work on strengthening the tissue around our hip, which is about as important as it gets. Good, that's a little more than 45 there, that feels good. So yeah, the fact that we're working on connecting some of these pathways of our brain and this tissue is super important, and that's why we're doing some of this. Next, we're going to work on our lat, okay? Again, the upper body portion of our posterior we're going to work today. I'm on my side, one hand behind my head, elbow back as far as I can, and up away from the ground as high as I can. From here, I take my other foot and I kind of use that as some leverage up top. We're going to press ourselves up and down, trying to roll from about our armpit to like the middle of our ribs. Now again, depending on how much muscle you have here, this might be extremely tense and sensitive, so maybe you stay put, maybe you roll up and down. Maybe you're someone who's a little more petite, you don't have as much tissue here. Again, maybe you just sit in one spot and you just kind of find a new spot, deep breaths there, whatever you need to do. But again, this tissue, if it's too tight, it's gonna restrict your ability to get your arm over your head because your shoulder blade is not gonna be able to manipulate and upwardly rotate as well as it should. Deep breaths, okay. Switch sides here. Again, super painful, but this feels good. I know it's helping me out. Okay. Switch on over. Super excited for you guys to be doing this workout with me today. The backside of our body, our posterior, is generally some of the least trained. I think some of the front musculature people think is more vanity oriented or people are gonna see it more. But I think our posterior in general, upper body, lower body, are more important from a functionality standpoint as well as a postural standpoint. Think of our back. If we have really pulled forward shoulders, it's because the tissue in front of us is too tight and it's pulling us that direction. So if we can strengthen the tissue of our upper back, we're gonna pull our shoulders back, which is gonna give us much more aesthetic looking posture. It looks better, right, when you're wearing your clothes. And your back's also just a bigger muscle on your upper body. It's the second biggest muscle of your body, your lats. So again, we'll burn more calories and we'll build some strength in some really important muscle groups. Okay, so there's 45 seconds there. Again, if you need more time, spend more time. I don't want to hold you guys here too much. I know we're busy and we want to get to the workout, so we're going to move on. Next, we're going to work on some spine health. We're going to use the foam roller again and have it on our upper back. From here, I'm going to start by going into a posterior pelvic tilt. I take my pelvis and I tilt it down. I think of pushing my lower back to the ground, hands on my head. While maintaining this tilt, I'm going to take a deep breath out 3 times. Every breath I take out, I try to relax my upper body and conform my upper back over the foam roller. What I do not want to do is go into lumbar extension and arch my lower back to cheat and get my head down. I want to work on thoracic extension. Again, tuck my pelvis, deep breath out. We're doing 3 of these. You can move locations. Try a new spot on your upper back. 1 more, tilt my pelvis, deep breaths. Last one. Now, I would be extremely careful if you're someone that does have issues with your spine, you've injured your spine in the past, or you're someone who's extremely kyphotic and tight and you've just never exposed yourself to extension in a long time of your spine. Be careful and slow, put a foam roller behind your head. Spend more time there if you really need, if you're someone who does sit a lot at work. Like for every hour you sit at your desk, we should probably do 3 repetitions at the least of those. So think of it that way and work that into your day. Next, I'm laying on my side. We're gonna work on thoracic rotation, our ability to rotate. Top leg on a foam roller, 1 arm out to the side. I'm gonna take a deep breath out, and again, I'm gonna try to rotate and pin my other shoulder to the ground, just as this one is. Deep breath out. Reset all the way here. If you're someone who plays a rotational sport, this is great. It's gonna help your tennis, golf game. Even lower your risk of injury for something simple, like you go to reach behind you for your seatbelt, or you're playing with your kid and you're throwing a ball, and if you don't have this rotational ability, you might compensate from your shoulder, and then if you don't have excess shoulder range of motion to make up for the lack of thoracic rotation, there you go, you hurt your shoulder. So again, it's important to realize how the chain of events that happen in movement, how that can negatively impact you if one of the, the links in the chain is restricted. 2 more deep breaths. You might also here notice some asymmetries because of life, maybe how we wear our backpack. Again, we rotate one direction for something at our desk, for our seatbelt, at home, whatever it may be. So pay attention throughout all this, the sensitivity of certain muscle groups, the range of motion, super important. So well done, all finished up with our myofascial release. Now we're gonna move on to some movement prep. Again, let's warm the tissue up and get ready for this workout so we can be safe and more effective. I'll see you in a second. All right, time to get started with the movement prep. Only 2 things we're gonna need here. I recommend a medium or a light mini band for the second exercise, and for the first thing, again, a really thin resistance band or maybe a TheraBand. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start with this resistance band. We're gonna stand tall, and we're gonna do some flexion, extension of our hips, shoulder, and our spine. So while having a shoulder with grip, I'm gonna pull the band apart. I'm gonna reach all the way overhead, deep breath out. Breathe in, new breath, reach down to the floor. Now, I am not trying to keep great posture here. I'm trying to round forward into flexion with a slight bend in my knee. Okay, we're gonna do 10 repetitions. As I go up, I squeeze my butt, I go into a slight extension of my lower back, I arch a little, deep breath out, round. Again, the goal here is taking our lower back, our hips and our shoulder through a very big range of motion. We're doing 10 of these. Again, if we've been sitting in our desk all day, this is gonna feel real good. Don't rush this, take a second here. Maybe you rotate left to right a little bit at the bottom position. Pulling this band apart and pressing it, right? I'm not going up and down. I'm bending my elbows, pressing up. This is gonna activate our shoulders a little, provide some blood flow to that area. Last one, squeeze my butt and belly, deep breath out. Okay, good. Next, I want us to warm up our core and our glutes. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna take that mini band we talked about before, and I'm gonna step inside of it with both legs, and I'm gonna put it right below my knees. Now, from here, I get into a tabletop position, okay? If you can't do this, you can always keep your knees on the ground if it's too painful, and you can just lift the other hip up. But the goal is here, I'm gonna press my knees off the ground, and we're gonna do 15 repetitions. While holding this tabletop position with a neutral spine, right? I'm not rounding or arching. I'm gonna open up one hip as much as I can and return back down. Deep breaths, I'm doing 15 repetitions here. Again, the goal here is to warm up our core as well as help activate my glutes. Deep breaths. My bottom leg has to work because I gotta stabilize that knee in place while I'm working on abduction of this right leg. Almost there. 15, good. Let me show you from another angle here. Okay, knees up off the ground. Turn this way a little. Open up this left hip. Try to have no movement almost anywhere except for this left glute and hip working. And again, I gotta work my upper body a little because I'm holding this isometric press. My core is working. So again, quick way to provide some blood flow. Get a couple of muscle groups warmed up. And 15. Whew, and there you have it. So there's a quick warm up for us. Took a couple of minutes. Now we're gonna start with our workout. See you in a second. All right, circuit number one, we're gonna be performing 3 exercises in a row. When we finish all of those, you're gonna get a short rest, and then you'll be performing this circuit 2 more times. The equipment you're gonna need here is gonna be a single kettlebell, something in the medium to heavy weight, a set of rings or a TRX, as well as a mini band. Now the first movement pattern we're gonna do is gonna be a single arm deadlift. We're gonna work on our hip hinge, resisting the urge of rotation, strengthening our posterior. When we finish that, we're gonna do a single arm ring row, again, resisting some rotation, working our back, working posture and strength. Third, final thing, we're gonna be doing a dead bug with our feet banded, a little more challenging variation. So without further ado, let's get this workout started. Like I mentioned before, the first thing we're gonna do is a single arm deadlift. So how do we do that? We wanna set up as we normally would for our deadlifting position. We're standing over the load. We're gonna then go into a good hip hinge, pushing our butt back. We wanna make sure we think of depressing our shoulder blades when we get our hand onto the weight. We're gonna do 16 reps, 8 each hand, okay? Now again, neutral spine. I take a deep breath of air in. I brace my belly. I stand tall. I squeeze my butt. I make my shoulder blade retracted. Again, I don't wanna be internally rotated. And then I hinge my hips back, again, keeping my belly braced. New breath. Stand tall. Squeeze butt and belly. 8 repetitions. It's so important we learn how to pick things up with good form. And usually we're not doing it with symmetrical loads. Today we're practicing holding on with one arm. I'm gonna kind of want to rotate away, so I want to think of my right hip going down to the ground, the side that is not holding on to the kettlebell. Again, it's really important you remember to brace your stomach. 8 reps, let me show you from the front. Again, standing directly over the weight. Butt goes back as I grab, shoulder blade depressed. Deep breath of air in. Stand tall, squeeze butt and belly. We're gonna be picking up things for the rest of our life. We need to be able to do it with good form. If we're starting to round our lower back at all, 5. If we start to look like this, we really need to work on our form and technique. Again, of hip hinging, pushing our butt back, tilting our pelvis, maintaining neutral spine. If we need to raise the weight up, because we don't have the hamstring mobility and we need to stop on a yoga block. Also a great option, but usually I would just say, let's work on our mobility and our positional awareness so we can perfect that. Number 2, once we finish those 16 reps, 8 each arm, we're doing a single arm ring row. So we got our TRX or ring set up. This is gonna be a little bit more challenging than a dual ring row, so you're gonna have to be more upright. I hold on to the ring with one hand. I resist the urge of rotating. I pull myself all the way up, pinch my shoulder blade. We're doing 12 repetitions, nice and controlled on the way down. My elbow's nice and close to my side. I'm not being too jerky. Again, I'm trying to control my body weight. I'm not relaxed and slack at my hips. Hips are forward, squeeze butt and belly. Deep breaths. Again, if you need to make this easier, you can walk your feet back, be more upright. You can auto-regulate, make it easier or harder in the middle of your set. Again, at the top, we want to make sure we're not internally rotated and we're retracting that shoulder blade. If we don't do that, we're just going to work our bicep. 10, if this is too challenging, use both rings or TRX handles. Last one. And then we can just save this for later as we get stronger. Opposite arm. Again, slow, controlled. I pull, I retract. I'm not internally rotated. Retract and depress that shoulder blade. Pulling exercises are so important because most of us have a rounded posture forward because the tissue in the front of us is so tight. So this is important to strengthen our back. Your lat's the second biggest muscle in your body. So you're gonna burn more calories working these bigger muscle groups out, helping you burn fat and get to your desired body composition quicker than if you did isolated exercises, like a bicep curl or something like that. Last rep. Okay, tough stuff. Again, rings are a great piece of equipment. You can do so many exercises with. And again, it doesn't take much space, but just be safe when you set it up to your door or whatever you set it up to at home. Okay, so now we got that Band Deadbug that I talked about. We're gonna take a mini band and put our feet into it, probably a light mini band. Most important part, posterior pelvic tilt, right? I think of pushing my lower back down to the ground and I'm not allowing my hand to fit or arch my back. Once I have that good positioning, elbows and knees up at 90 degrees. I'm gonna extend to opposite limbs here. My left leg goes out, my right arm, I get them close to the ground, I bring them all the way back. Switch sides. We're gonna be doing 12 repetitions per side. Nice and slow and controlled. Again, I'm resisting the urge of going into extension. This is an anti-extension core exercise. Same concept if you were to put a box over your head or in your overhead bin when you're in a plane, you're resisting the urge of arching your back and you're using your core. You might not think overhead pressing is working your core, but it is for sure. Deep breaths. When I lock my leg out, I think about squeezing the glute of the leg that's extending. Squeeze that glute. Halfway. Now, this is also a great way for you to stretch your shoulders out. If you lack good overhead mobility, really reach those arms behind you. If this starts to get too challenging, you can extend your legs higher up in the air. The lower your leg is to the floor, the more it's gonna wanna pull you into extension, so you gotta work harder. Deep breaths. If you wanna take the band off because it's a little too challenging, you can do that. Almost there. I got 2 each side. Belly down, deep breaths. And it's nice, your heart rate gets up from the other exercises. And now we're just trying to keep our heart rate calm. Last one. All right, guys. So that's the first circuit right there. We're gonna do another 2 rounds. Let's take a short rest, and then I'll meet you at the next circuit. See you in a second. All right, circuit number 2, again, we got 3 exercises. The equipment we'll need here, again, is gonna be the rings or TRX. Maybe set a little bit longer if you had them set up at a certain height before. We're gonna need a medium to a light kettlebell here, and we're also gonna need a resistance band that's set up at about chest height in a doorway or attached to something sturdy at home. The first movement pattern we're gonna perform is gonna be an assisted single-legged deadlift. We're gonna use the ring for some support. We can do this with or without a weight. I'd recommend with a weight if you can keep good form. If you can't, practice without the weight. When we're finished with that, we're gonna be doing a single arm row. We can do this with a dumbbell or a kettlebell. I'm gonna show you with a kettlebell. We're gonna support our hand, use our core, work on strengthening our back, build some muscle. Third, final thing, we are going to do a split stance wood chop, working on some rotational strength, working our obliques and our core. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said before, the first thing we're gonna do is gonna be that single-legged deadlift using a ring for assistance. So let me go over that first before we start counting these reps. So whatever foot is on the ground, I'm gonna hold onto the ring with the opposite hand. The concept is I'm gonna push my butt back like our deadlift would be, straighten out my back leg, and maintain a neutral spine. Now the opposite arm can hold a load, right, when we do this, and again, the ring is for stability. I wanna drop the weight right in front of my toe, stand tall, squeeze my butt and belly. We're gonna be doing 10 repetitions per leg. If you're doing this body weight, you can do more volume if you'd like. So, shoulder blades down and back, I'm holding the weight to start. Again, I initiate by pushing my butt back. I get the load really close to my foot in the center of gravity. I stand tall, I squeeze my butt and belly. Now, some important things. Obviously, maintaining neutral spine. We cannot round and go into a flexion. If we do, we need to reduce the load, not use load, and just perfect our form. I have a slight bend to my knee as I do this, and again, I think of pushing my butt back. Tight belly. I also want to make sure my back foot is not rotating open with my hip. I keep my back foot pointed toward the floor. Slight bend in the front knee. I feel a big stretch in my hamstring. My shoulder blade on that front arm that's holding the weight is depressed and retracted. Again, keeping my upper back nice and stiff. 9, 2 more. And I think I might have just done an extra, but that's okay, good. Now we're gonna switch sides. Okay, right leg, again, I reach out with that left arm. My right arm is holding the weight. Stand tall, squeeze my butt and belly. This is one of my favorite athletic movement patterns to work on strengthening our posterior while we work on stability of our ankle, our knee, our hip. And again, a lot of us are asymmetrical. We're lopsided on mobility and strength. And this is a wonderful way for you, again, to strengthen your posterior one leg at a time and work on your hip hinge, which is such an important movement mechanic position to be in because we're gonna be picking things up for the rest of our life. So we gotta have good form when we do it. Butt back. If you find you just keep losing your balance, maybe we need to look at the why, and maybe our glute's not activating and our knee is collapsing in. 10. So we might need to think of corkscrewing our foot into the ground to make sure our knee comes out and it doesn't fall in on us. Okay, second, we're gonna be doing that single arm row. So I have a load here or a weight in front of me that I'm gonna use for support. You can also use a bench, a couch, anything that you have available. So we wanna support our upper body a little bit and put some weight on there. Again, I'm in a good hip hinge position, pushing my butt back. I hold on to the load. I start by depressing my shoulder blade. Deep breath of air in. Pull the weight up, pinch my shoulder blade, all the way down. We're doing 12 reps per arm here, okay? Depressed, pull, retract. As you can see, I'm not pulling my arm vertically straight up. I'm coming back at a slight angle. I think a good analogy is like pulling a lawnmower cord. For a guy that lives in New York City and has a lot of clients here, I don't know if anyone has done that, but that's the concept I thought of here. Again, we are not rounded in our back. Our risk of injury is so much higher here. Neutral spine. If you cannot maintain that neutral spine, maybe we go to a higher object. Maybe you go to a lighter load. And if you really can't keep it still, we need to work on our positional awareness and our hamstring flexibility. Because if you're not able to keep your hips up, your hamstrings might be too tight and you might have to drop them or you start rounding. Okay, 12 reps. Next side. Again, back straight. And brace that belly. Think of holding a deep breath of air in your stomach and you're pushing out like you're wearing a weight belt or like someone's gonna punch you in the stomach and you're bracing to resist that. This is a great way to work on strengthening your back, build muscle, help fix your posture. Again, you really got to retract that shoulder blade though. You're not going to work your back if you don't do that. 10, 2 more. I got good slow tempo. If you're already finished, maybe you're going a little bit too quick. And if the weight you have at home is too light, do more volume, whatever you need to do to make this challenging. Okay, third, final thing. I'm gonna grab that band that I mentioned before that's set up at chest height. We're gonna get into a split stance position, meaning front leg bent 120 degrees or so, back leg relatively locked out. I'm holding onto my band with both hands, fingers intertwined. My hands are starting at about 2 o'clock. I'm gonna explode and rotate to 10 and then slowly absorb. We're gonna do 12 reps. Explode, nice and slow. Now, when I rotate, I'm making sure I use my core. I'm not using just my arms. My elbows are locked out. I try to keep symmetry within my arms. I don't have internal rotation of one. I don't have one elbow bent. I'm not elevating my traps. The beauty of this is as I'm working my core here, I have to think of externally rotating this foot into the ground, get my glute active, and keep that knee tracking over my toes and not let it collapse in. 2 more, nice and slow on the return, explode. Okay, switch sides, try to give you a different angle here. Okay, again, corkscrew that foot, activate that glute, rotate, chop, slow. If you play rotational sports, this is gonna help you produce more power. Again, it's important we do a lot of core work, which we're standing and we're using our core because that's when we're gonna need it in life most likely, is we're standing and moving to keep our spine safe. That's our core's job. Explode, smooth. Last one, elbows locked out, chest height, and beautiful. Again, remember, walk further away if it was too easy with the band, walk closer if it was too hard. So, well done, circuit's all finished. We're gonna take a short break. We're gonna come back, do 2 more of those, and then I'll see you at the next circuit.
Picky, picky, baby. Dance it, dance it, you know. Love it, hey. Picky, picky, chicky, eh. Know we, picky, eh. Dance it, dance it, picky. Picky, picky, baby. Dance it, you know. Love it, hey. Picky, picky, chicky, eh. Know we, picky, eh. Dance it, picky. And everybody let me hear you say. Know we, pick it, eh. Dancing, pick it. Love it, hey. Picky, picky, chicky, eh. No, we know it, pick it, eh. Dance it, dancing, pick it. Picky, picky, baby. Dance it, dancing, you know it. Love it, hey. Picky, picky, chicky, eh. No, we know it, pick it, eh. Dance it, dancing, pick it. And everybody let me hear you say. Picky, picky, baby. Dance it, dancing, you know it. Love it, hey. Picky, picky, chicky, eh. No, we know it, pick it, eh. Dance it, dancing, pick it. Picky, picky, baby. Dance it, dancing, you know it. Love it, hey. Picky, picky, chicky, eh. No, we know it, pick it, eh. Dance it, dancing, pick it. And everybody let me hear you say. Picky, picky, baby. Dance it, dancing, you know. Love it, hey. Picky, picky, chicky, eh. Know it, picky, eh. Dance it, dancing, picky.
Third, final circuit, we got 3 more exercises here. The equipment we're gonna need is gonna be that resistance band, but instead of chest height, we're now gonna move it to about knee height, and we're gonna also need a light kettlebell. The first movement pattern we're gonna perform is gonna be a banded pull-through. We're gonna be doing more volume and something more explosive. We're gonna get you ready to start doing kettlebell swings soon in your next program. So explosive way to hip hinge and work on strengthening your glutes and your posterior. The second thing we're gonna do is a banded front racked row. So we're gonna work on strengthening our back while at the same time strengthening our core and work on holding external rotation with that kettlebell in a good position. We'll talk about that. Third, final thing we're gonna do is a bird dog. Wonderful way to work on strengthening your core and work on spinal stability. So less talking and let's get started. Like I said, first thing we're gonna do is a banded pull through. So I'm gonna go grab a band I have set up in the doorway. Again, I have it set up at knee height. So what I want us to start by doing is to grab that band and we're gonna step on over it, okay? Now, I'm pretty far away here. I want there to be adequate tension. The concept here is I'm doing a deadlift or a hip hinge, right? I'm letting the band pull me back into a good position. I have a neutral spine. From here, I'm gonna explode forward with my hips, lock my legs out and squeeze my butt and belly again, shoulder blades down and back. I'm not moving my hands, okay? It will not look like this. My hands stay at my hips, okay? It's gonna give you a wedgie. Butt goes back, hips come through, squeeze your butt. We're gonna be doing 25 reps explosively. So let's do this together here. Slight bend to the knee, chest goes down, hips through, squeeze our butt. Butt back, squeeze our butt. Again, the purpose of this is we're trying to activate our posterior, our hamstrings and glutes, and practice working on a good hip hinge. But now, we're getting ready for a kettlebell swing, because soon that's what we're gonna progress to. A kettlebell swing is exactly this, except then the weight comes up, we let it pull us back into a position, hips come forward. If you wanna practice this with one arm and work on your single arm swings, you can do that. Again, imagine where the weight is, but for right now, we're gonna do this with both hands. Again, butt back as far as I can, big stretch in my hamstrings. I know this looks funny. That's why if you're doing this from home, nobody's watching. And then once we perfect this, you're gonna go to the gym and you're gonna have heavier loads available and you're gonna start doing kettlebell swings and you're gonna really work on your cardiovascular health and strengthening your posterior through a great advanced exercise. Now, as I do this, no rounding, right? No bad kyphotic posture. I got 6 more. I'm making sure at the top, I'm not overextending and arching my back, compromising my lower back and working my erectors. 3 more, squeeze. I know this is different, but trust me guys, this is one of the best progressions to learn how to do a kettlebell swing. Okay, next, we're gonna do that single arm front rack row I mentioned. So I got another band set up here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get into a half kneeling position, okay? The opposite arm is gonna hold that kettlebell that I mentioned before. So I'm gonna hold that kettlebell in a front rack position, meaning I have a vertical forearm and it's resting on my forearm. From here, I'm nice and upright. I'm gonna pull the weight all the way back. Again, make sure I retract my shoulder blade and then slowly lock that arm out. I'm doing 12 repetitions. Big pull, retract. Again, no internal rotation. Back and down with that shoulder blade. If you need to make this harder, you can lean back or walk yourself back a little. Holding the kettlebell is just gonna enable us to work our core a little more. Make sure we're not arching our back and we're staying nice and upright. Slow. Our elbow's not high, it's right by our side. We wanna think of rubbing the elbow against our side. Again, not up in the air. Almost done. Last one. If you need to add more volume because your band's not thick enough or it's not challenging enough, go ahead and do that. Let me grab the other band to give you a different perspective here. Okay, again, whatever knee is down is the arm that's pulling, guys, okay? You can see the front rack position, vertical forearm, and I'm not falling into internal rotation. Nice and upright, row, pinch, slow return. Again, our home gyms or the equipment that we have at home to get good, efficient, quick workouts in, it shouldn't be a plethora of stuff that takes up a lot of room. This band Can do us a lot of good if we set this up in our doorway. And now we can almost act like we have a cable machine. You can do this on a cable machine. When you go and you travel or you actually go to the gym, you've been working on good mechanics to do this well at the gym. Last two, pull pinch. I'm not letting it rotate me, I'm resisting that urge. One for good luck, and beautiful. Okay, third, final thing. I mentioned those bird dogs before. So we're in a tabletop position. From here, what I want us to think of is maintaining a neutral spine. So I'm not in flexion, I'm not in extension, neutral. Tight belly, tight butt. Now, I'm gonna extend opposite limbs and lock out, and then I bring those back to the middle, touch my hand to my knee, and the goal is, if I was watching myself, my lower back does not move at all. I keep that tilt of my pelvis the same, and I try to maintain a neutral spine and work on spinal stability here. This is a wonderful core exercise that doesn't get enough credit. Dr. Stuart McGill, world-renowned physical therapist, has everyone that's recovering from back injuries do this. Again, if you do this with a lot of intent, you're really gonna feel this all over. And 10, okay, switching sides. Okay, opposite side, right leg locked out. Again, I squeeze that glute. I make sure that foot is pointed to the floor, just like that single-arm deadlift, single-legged deadlift. Resisting that urge of arching my back. I'm sweating. Lock out, touch. Squeeze that belly, act like you're bracing your stomach again, like someone's gonna punch it. Great habit to get into. Nice and slow tempo. Last one. Whew, okay, and that's that, guys. So let's finish 2 more rounds of that. We'll take a short break first, and I'll see you at the finale. Keep working hard.
I've been craving for you. These them I show them going crazy for you. You're my life, only you be my baby. You're my life, only you be my baby. Tell me what I wouldn't do for your love. Girl, all I want from you is your trust. Tell me what I wouldn't do for your love. Girl, all I want from you is your trust. target I've been craving for you. Desire, got my shot, I'm going crazy for you. You're my life, only you be my baby. You're my life, only you be my baby. Tell me what I wouldn't do for your love, girl. All I want from you is your trust. Tell me what I wouldn't do for your love, girl. All I want from you is your trust, your trust. Go solo, you did make me go low. You know say me catch a vibe, I don't wanna lay low, but I wanna lay low. Desire, get my shot, I'm going crazy for you. Bullseyes, get my target, I've been craving for you. Desire, get my shot, I'm going crazy for you. You're my life, only you be my baby. You're my life, only you be my baby. Tell me what I wouldn't do for your love, girl. All I want from you is your trust. Tell me what I wouldn't do for your love, girl. All I want from you is your trust. Tell me what I wouldn't do for your love, girl. All I want from you is your trust. Go solo, you did make me go low. You know say me catch a vibe, I don't wanna lay low, but I wanna lay low. Desire, get my shot, I'm going crazy for you. Bullseyes, get my target, I've been craving for you. Desire, get my shot, I'm going crazy for you. You're my life, only you be my baby. You're my life, only you be my baby. Tell me what I wouldn't do for your love, girl. All I want from you is your trust.
That wraps up our posterior dominant workout. Thank you so much for working so hard today, guys. I know I am drenched right now. I hope the backside of your body was burning up. Hope you learned something, took some stuff away from that. Again, I thank you so much for working really hard, choosing me as a resource to learn from and to work out with. I really look forward to seeing you at the next workout. Again, take care of yourself, recover, nutrition, hydration, get ready for the next workout to work real hard, and I will see you there. See you soon.